Walking Michael Jackson steps. Even up a show. Slow like Roshimila. Win like Serena. Fiesta dancera. Feeling like a champion. Yeah. I'm feeling like a champion. Yes. Yes, I came to win like a champion. Champion, champion. And I live my dreams like a champion. Champion, champion. Yes, I came to win like a champion. Champion, champion. On my way to win like a champion. Champion, champion, champion. Give me the crown, she deserves it, deserves it, deserves it, deserves it. Give me the crown, she deserves it, deserves it, deserves it. Give her the crown, she deserves it, deserves it, deserves it. Give her the crown, she deserves it. Africa, stand up! Did you Africa stand up? Are you African? Stand up! Stand up, Africa! Africa, stand up! Cameroon! All the beautiful ladies! I love you guys! Love you. Hi. Oh, wow. Hello, 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 hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're bang on time. Thank you so much, everyone who's here. I appreciate you, and let's get on with it. So, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you again for tuning in. We're starting while we wait for Miss Ruth Nkweti. So this is just very, very exciting to me, and I want to officially welcome you to the very first episode of The Woman Experience. For those of you who are yet to watch the movie Woman, The Woman Experience is born of the feedback that I've gotten over the years on this movie. I mean, people have sent me countless messages in my inbox. People have stopped me at events just to ask the most important one. I call it important because it's the most talked about, the most asked question. When are we getting a part 2? People have sent me private messages in my WhatsApp, just telling me their stories. And after listening to all these experiences people have shared with me, after reading all these messages that people have sent to me, I just thought, you know what, it may be beneficial to all of us if I brought these conversations to a wider public so that we all can, I am very, very confident that we all will benefit from that. So that's why we are here today, and this is why we have the GORETTI Experience, which presents the Woman Experience. I apologize for that. So if you're just tuning in, or if you do not know already, my name is GORETTI, and I am the producer of the movie Woman, which, again, the Woman Experience is born from. So with Woman, what we wanted to do was tell a story of infidelity, but we were just tired of the infidelity of always blaming one person is to blame. So we decided that we were going to have a story that told the story from 3 perspectives, because it takes 2, or sometimes in the case of infidelity, 3 to tango. So that's what we did with Woman. Ruth Nkweti, who is going to be joining us soon, she played the role of Mbole in the story. I played the role of Ango, whose husband cheated on her. Sometimes I don't want to say cheated because I think that it gets too repetitive, but anyway, I'm going to keep saying that. So I played the role of Ango, whose husband cheated on her, and Ruth, who is going to be joining us shortly, played the role of Mbole. So Ruth and Ango are very, very close friends. They are best friends. They are business partners. And it so happens that their husbands or their partners are best friends as well, which works well for them until it doesn't. And well, in the case of Ango, played by myself and my husband, we are married, but Mbole, played by Ruth, and her partner are in a come we stay situation. So we watch Ruth as the tactics she uses to try and get the attention or to get this really clueless partner of hers to understand that, look, my ovaries are drying up. My people are beginning to ask what's going to happen. When am I getting married? Everyone's beginning to look at me. But this boy is literally just clueless. So we watch Ruth as she tries to get his attention, to get him to do the right thing, as they say, the most important question in a woman's life, which is, will you marry me? Although I don't think I agree with that, but we'll leave it to you to tell us what you think. So again, Ruth Kweti, I absolutely love that girl. She is fantastic. She's full of spunk. She is so talented, and she is such a hard worker. I mean, she is my kind of girl, very down to earth and a go-getter. She's currently in Nigeria now, trying to break through the Nollywood industry. And for those of us in the film world, we know how hard that is. But she's done fantastic so far. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Ruth on, and then we talk to Ruth about women, who Ruth is, and then we go straight to Cameroon State issues. Thank you for joining in. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Ayo.
Hi, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
You look lovely.
How are you? Thank you. I went with the red today. I'm feeling very Rihanna-ish in my
So
Fenty.
well, so well. So Ruth,
Thank you.
we have a good number of people watching. So can you tell them just a little bit about Ruth before we get on to our story?
Ruth is an actor, producer. She's a sister. She's a daughter. She's a loving person. I love a lot, and I wear my heart on my sleeve so that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work, and I get hurt very fast. So my circle of friends is very, very small. I'm a hard worker. I always dive into my work and just literally almost bury myself in there.
Oh, you are a hard worker. I mean, I can attest to that. Working with Ruth on
Yeah.
Woman was just, it was amazing. Remember all the antics we went
Oh,
we got up to.
oh my God.
Quite
It's like one of the first sets where I felt like it wasn't just work. It was like building like a
no.
little family. It was amazing.
We aim to please. We aim to please. Because people don't understand how hard it is, do they? People just think that acting is that easy. You just go look pretty and then you interpret a role. They just don't understand how much work and effort we put into it.
Right? It's right. It's like, okay, there's this funny thing that I was seeing on Instagram lately where because of the quarantine and everybody has to be like locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody starts doing these TikTok videos and trying to like recreate movie scenes, and you see managers doing it. I'm like, wait, everybody's an actor now. Like I was like, after quarantine is over, I'm going to be a banker. How about that? But it's so hard. It's acting without passion is very hard, first of all, and then if you're not, let me say, if your heart is not in it, if you're in it for the wrong reasons, it turns to be like something completely different, and it's terrible, and it comes across. And one thing I discovered about filmmaking is I wasn't that person who was jumping up, oh, I want to be an actor, or I want to be a filmmaker. I just
Really?
no, I wasn't.
I mean, this is
I
your
wasn't.
personality. I thought that you've always wanted to be an actor.
Well, I was a character kid. That's the thing. You
Okay.
can I always had different personas I was going with, but it wasn't in my mind. No, as an African kid, in my mind, it's not like, oh, I wanted to film, or film is a career, because film was something you watched other people do. And also because my dad was like a James Bond fan, like all the movies we had in the house was James Bond. I think my first Nigerian movie, I think I was like 12. I watched it. So no, was it 12? No, it was older. It's a little older. And that's when I even realized that Africans did film.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't, I was literally completely sheltered from it. But when I was in school, there was this little skits and stuff, and I would look at it and I love it. And I remember there was one time in, I think I was like 16, and I wrote and directed a play.
At 16?
At 16, yeah.
Okay, so
And I was,
the bug had began to
yeah, again, yeah. But I think that's the thing. It was just a story came to my mind, right? And
Mhm.
I just like, okay, I got my friends. It's like, let's do it. Excuse me, this weather today is dry.
Oh, you're in Dallas. It's to be expected.
Dallas is mad. Like,
Mm.
yeah, 7 seasons in one day. So, yeah. So I got my friends to try to do it, and I remember I was 16, and I was like, at one point, I was like, nah, this is a skit because it was not really a long ass play. It was just like very short. But I was like,
Mm.
this little dramas is for the kids. From one children do it. I'm in lower city. I'm grown. I shouldn't do it. And I remember my social master coming up to me and was like, okay, your place next. I'm like, no, we're not doing it anymore. Like, no. He said, okay, if you don't do it, this presentation night ends now, and everybody's going to know it's because of you. I
Oh.
was like, shit. So I went and got my friends back and told them, okay, you know what, I'm actually doing it. And I remember we went ahead, I directed them like what to do and how to do it and when to do it.
Mhm.
And at the end of it, there was this ovation. And people were standing and cheering for like so much. And it wasn't, the feeling I had was not that, oh my God, they're clapping for me. The
Mhm.
feeling I had was, I did that. Like I
Oh,
give them that feeling.
I
Like they're
see.
standing. I didn't tell them to stand. I didn't tell them to clap. I didn't tell them to do nothing. They did
So
it
I
by
guess
themselves.
what that did for you was confirm your talent.
No, it was more
Mm.
like I like giving people that feeling. I realized
Oh,
that. So I
I
didn't
like
know
that.
how I was gonna give it to them. So because even
Yeah.
after that, I went into uni. I didn't do anything film, and then I think at one point when I had so much time on my hands,
Mhm.
because I went that was 2008. Because when I went to uni,
Yes.
first year I was just working, studying, doing everything I wanted to. I was doing political
Oh.
science then, so it was very demanding, and I was doing international law as well. So it was like really, really demanding. And I remember my second year, I had a lot of free time on my hands. I think I had like just like 3 or 4 courses for the
Mhm.
year. So I was like, okay, what am I doing in my free time? And I thought, okay, there's audition notices, and I went there and I auditioned and I got it.
Oh,
But
so
at that
that's
time,
the
still,
transition from that 16-year-old, that bulk from 16-year-old to how you got into the Cameroon film industry. Is
yeah,
that a bit of it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
At that time, even I was like, okay, it's something I'm doing. But I
Mm.
realized that when I go to the office, because at one point I was interning at the Ministry of External Relations, and the only time I had a little fire was when I was
Yes.
trying to discuss like solve problems and everything, and like it's very intense. And
So
that's the
what
same
that
feeling I
so you
had when
had
I
a
was
little fire.
creating.
So sorry,
Sorry?
was that on set or when you
No.
were in the Ministry of External Relations interning?
Yeah, so yeah, I was interning. So the only time I had a little spark was when I was actually active on cases,
Mm-hmm.
but that wasn't there when I was in the office. That wasn't there when I was talking to colleagues. That wasn't there, and that came back only when I was either creating something
Mm-hmm.
or acting in something. And that spark of imagining scenarios and putting together, because that's actually what comes in when you, international relations, when you're trying to like solve or give potential solutions, you have to
Mm-hmm.
like imagine the outcomes of everyone. So that's kind of the little thing that I was feeling, and I was like, okay. So after I think when I was leaving uni, I told my dad, I'm like, okay, I wanted to go into theater arts. You said no, that's not what we're doing. So now I've given you your degree in political science. So right now,
Congratulations. I'm sure he
thank
must have been
you.
pleased because with African parents, if you don't have a degree, forget it. I mean,
Oh
I
no,
know
it's a problem.
it's
Oh,
like,
that was not even enough.
although your
That
father
was
was
not enough
also
for him.
very, sorry to talk over you. I think like your father was very open-minded because I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
for him to
he
so
was.
from uni, that was his straight into acting. I mean, okay,
Yes.
we all know Ruth Quetty, Ruth, sorry,
Mhm.
as the actress. I mean, when I put your face up on my Facebook page today, I got
Yeah.
such great feedback about you. So many people came underneath and
Oh,
told me how much they love you. She's such an amazing actress. Oh, I met her. She's so sweet. She's so down to earth. And I thought, oh wow, okay, so this girl is she's known, among Cameroonians as an actor. Why did you? How did Nigeria come into it, or was Cameroon too small for you? You thought, you know what, in a small pond, let me just go and conquer
man.
Nigeria.
Okay. So there's this thing about growth, right?
Mm,
there always has to be room for expansion.
It's true.
And with Cameroon, for a while, I think I felt a little stagnant at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like I was growing
Mm-hmm.
because, trust me, Cameroon has so much potential. It's amazing, the stories and
Yes,
everything.
yes, we do.
But
We
I
do.
feel like no matter how amazing any space is, if you don't experience other spaces, you're never ever going to change or grow from that. So
I love that. Yeah.
With Nigeria, it was kind of like of a little two kind of situation. I would go, come back,
Mm-hmm.
get meetings, come back, and all that good stuff. And so I won't, when I kept going, I kept interacting. I think this even started when my first trip to the UK. That was when I actually first interacted with Nigerian actors.
Oh,
Went for
yes.
this stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you stayed with me, let's give it away. Anyway,
Actually, no, that
oh,
staying with
yeah,
you
no,
was my
for the
like
award.
my second
Yeah.
trip.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, I remember. Anyway, so Ruth, so let's go back to woman now. Now that I mean, people have a little bit of an idea, but let's go back to
Mm,
woman to the road because we're here to talk about the woman experience. We're here to talk
yeah.
about, can we stay, right? Our topic for today is
Mhm.
can we stay? So I mean, I don't
I feel like we
know,
should have like Blanche Bailey in the background. I know, like me, count
can we
still.
stay, right? We should have been playing that actually. That's true. But
Yeah,
like, I mean, let's look back on your role, Mbole, the role, and let's leave the screen now. Let's bring it to real life because trust me,
yeah.
there's so many of our sisters out there. A few people are watching who may or may know somebody who is in the Camel Stay situation. And with what
Mm-hmm.
you experienced as Mbole, what would you have done if that was a real life situation with a man?
I don't know how to nag. That's one thing about me. I don't nag. Like
So you'd have
I
just
talk to
gone
you.
down stay forever until the guy is like,
No,
"Oh,
like I
I
would leave
don't know, marry
you to
her."
you. No, I literally will leave you to be you. Like I
So you would,
don't know how to.
are you
I
serious?
will walk away.
Oh,
That's the thing. I have like my patience is like this big.
mhm.
Because you're not a child. I can't have to be hitting this in your mind, like in your brain, like like every single day. You're not a
Mhm.
child. So you know that if we're together, it's forever. I don't even know I'm going to even move into man's house. It's not mine.
Oh, so wait,
Like,
what are you saying? Are you saying that you don't agree with Camel Stay?
I don't know, say to each his own.
Mm,
But first of all, I like my space.
mm-hmm.
So the reason why I will share my space with you is because I'm obliged to share my space with you.
Okay.
So that obligation doesn't come when we're two single people. I call it two single people because when you're not married, you're single. So if you're coming, spend the night, it's okay. I go spend the night, it's okay. But I'm not gonna move my things out of my house into your house or
What
you
if
move
you
into
propose
my
it?
house. Yeah, yeah, a propose, yes, honey. When we get married, we move together. How about that?
So, but there's a school of thought. I mean, there's some people who think that before you marry somebody, because marriage is a lifetime commitment, right? And if you're going to
Yeah,
and and a lot of people don't believe in divorce, especially the way a lot of us
yeah,
Africans are
girl.
raised. Divorce is not
Yeah,
even something that you should consider. So if you're thinking
yeah.
that you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, I mean, aren't you even tempted to say, you know what, let me live with this person for like a month or two and see if, for compatibility
Yeah. No,
reasons?
I get that part, but I'm just saying, see, there's a compromise everywhere because if there's someone that you love and you're crazy
Hmm.
about and you see it forever with the person, there's
Hmm.
some obviously nobody's perfect. There's some little things that don't work for them. Do you
Hmm.
understand? So or work for you. So I believe in communication and I believe in you hearing me out and I hear you out. Even
Hmm.
if I'm mad or whatever, I try not to scream. And I think that's not a very good trait for me because sometimes I'm like stumped on and I just walk away.
Hmm.
But I try not to scream. I need to have a conversation with you. And we see
Hmm.
because I don't think everything is not set in stone.
Yes.
Like if you
I
are
agree with
not
you on
born with
that.
a deformity, it's not yours. Like if that character trait in you that is
Mhm.
detrimental to you and me, you can change it. You
Yes.
can always change it. It's not forever. It's not a said deal is nothing. I remember I was dating this guy who used to always refer to women as bitches.
Why are you dating
And
a guy who refers to women as
no, he
bitches?
doesn't refer. That's the thing. So when I got at him, he doesn't refer to me though. But when he talks
Hmm.
about ladies, he says bitches, and I'm like, you don't say that. He's like, but I'm not talking to you. I'm not say calling you a bitch. I'm like, yeah, I'm a female, and it's offensive. Don't say it. And at one point, he goes off and he's like, are you trying to change me? Are you trying to change who I am? I'm like, dude, were you born saying bitch? Like when you came out of your mother's womb, was you just crying bitch? And is that what was happening? Because
And, oh
little
my
things like
no, I truly
I
get
don't
it.
know.
Ruth, we have so many people that are watching and sending amazing comments. I mean, I'm going
Let
to
me see the
share with
comments.
you.
Oh my
Princess
god.
is watching us. Thank you so much for joining in, Braun. My
Hi.
friend Monsieur, hi Monsieur, Rachel, Yvonne, Adeline. Oh my gosh, you girls are amazing. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the conversation. And please be honest with us and leave us the comments so that
Mhm.
so that we get the feedback straight away, so that we have the conversation that we all want to have. Because if you have anything to contribute to Can We Stay, please don't hesitate, leave the comment and I'll bring it up. Thank you, Gilles, for tuning in from Luxembourg. Oh wow, you're sweet. Anyway, so I have a namesake. Margaret is watching. Gilbert is watching. Ruth, you know he's a big fan of
I
yours.
know.
Hi, Gilbert.
I know.
Thank
No,
you so much for tuning
Gilbert
in.
will get into boy
Don't
as
worry, he'll get
like
you
I'm
after this.
not
Hi,
I'm not
Cheryl.
working
Thank you.
hard.
So, Ruth,
Uh,
what
yep.
do you think are some of the reasons why people do Camus Day?
I feel like because it just feels normal.
Normal
Um
how?
okay, I think lately the marriage is not usually is not people are saying looking at marriage more like, oh, if I insist on marriage, that means I'm desperate.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost coming to that point where it's becoming the new normal. And then also sometimes it's very economical actually to stay
The
together.
financial reasons,
It's
right? No, I
a
get where you're.
financial reason. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's just people just look at it like, okay, if you're in my house a lot of times, I'm in your house all the time, why are we staying separate? Or just gently from a drawer to a dresser to a closet, and like
You
it
know,
just becomes you don't see sometimes you don't even see it happen.
yeah. No, I mean, I totally understand that, because for those of us in the West, I can say that a lot of people get into kind of state situations for number
Mm-hmm.
one, financial reasons. Because again, I mean, you know how it is. You're probably dating people from different states or different towns, and then it just makes sense that you
Yeah.
guys move in together, because the bills cost a lot, man. The bills are high out here. So that makes sense. It's true. But you know what? I read about a survey that was done on Camus Stay. And for those who are non-Cameroonians, the non-Cameroonians who are watching, Camus Stay, hi, hi, Toyin. Camus Stay is cohabitation. So I don't know what it is called in your language, and so but for Cameroonians it's called Camuste. So we'll get back to Camuste. There's a survey I read that said that. Do you know that financial reason that I think that for most of us out here in Bush we use? It's actually only 16% of people so there was a study of over 20,000 people, and only 16%
Yeah.
of those people said that they get into a relationship for Camuste. I mean, into a Camuste situation for the financial
For
benefit.
financial reasons.
I found
Okay.
that really
Yeah.
strange, because I just thought that it was just the convenience that made people, just live together.
I feel like also sometimes people just jump into it like they're so excited, like, oh, this is my forever partner, and let's just do this, and there's
Hmm.
no sense of us being apart. I want to be with you every time. So that happens usually at the beginning of a relationship, and then that's why they break up so fast as well, because
Hmm.
now you don't know the person and you're in the space all the time. You don't even care about the person like that, and then
Hmm.
you're in the space all the time, and they need to get rid of you somehow. So there's gonna be this problem, like because the pillow on the couch is crooked, then it's gonna be a whole blowout and reminds you of
So
the time that you were drunk in the street and all of that stuff. So yeah,
yeah,
that's a little
that thing
dangerous.
I read about it as well. I mean, or well, not necessarily read about it, because I've heard stories. Let me share some people's experiences. I'm not going to call your names. Your secret is safe with me. But I have been with men, who
Mm-hmm.
claim, who have boldly said, why I get for pay for something we I get and enjoy. Do you understand? Like,
Mhm.
okay, she's already here playing the role of a wife. Why do I have to
Yeah.
go and pay bride price when I'm having such a good, it's so beneficial
Mhm.
to me?
Yeah.
And I just think, okay, so you like, I get exactly that. Look, there's a really interesting question here that I have to bring up. Adeline asked the question. She said, tell me, if a man or a woman cheats during Come We Stay, has it got the same intensity as if they were married? I mean, if anyone
Yep.
else in the audience has a response to that, please type it in and we'll share it. So if a man or woman cheats during Come We Stay, so let's say you've decided to do Come We Stay with your boyfriend or
Yeah.
potential husband, because I don't think any woman
Mhm.
can stay thinking that she's not going to marry this man. I don't
Oh,
think so.
some of them actually do. Some of them, it's more like, oh, we're together. Why change it? We're good right now. Why change the status quo?
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
but I feel like,
African women, I mean,
yeah,
this is the
yeah,
African women really. Wow, we are so evolved. I didn't know
yeah,
that. But then,
yeah.
so let's
Oh.
honestly, I'm really surprised. But let's answer Adeline's question. So she said that if a man or a woman cheats during Can We Stay, do you think it's got the same intensity as if you were married, as if when
You know, what struck me first of all in that question is the intensity of cheating. Cheating is cheating. Like whatever you consider cheating is cheating. So yes, it's the same thing everywhere. Um, yeah, because if I'm in your house, because it's you know what, even if they're not in the same, it's worse actually. If they're not in the same house, because that means I don't even trust you from anywhere. Cheating is cheating. If I feel like you're talking or having emotional connections with another lady is cheating, or if you sleep with another person, that if that's what I consider cheating, it's cheating still. Like if I'm in the same house with you, if I'm married to
it
you, or
carries
I'm
the
not
same
married to you,
weight,
or a different house, it carries the same weight. Because you're my partner, and we have this agreement that I'm just the one, and you go out and do whatever shenanigans you're doing out there with somebody else. Sorry, honey,
Mhm.
it's still cheating.
But
Yeah,
hold on a
dealing
minute.
with it.
I think that because I think that from the stories I've heard about Kamustay, very few people come into a
Yeah.
Kamustay situation with clear-cut rules. I think that people just kind of, you know how you fall in love, people just kind of slide into Kamustay, like, okay, I keep spending time, I keep my things, I beg, let me just pack the things
Mm-hmm.
away. I don't,
And
I I don't, from the conversations I know personally, it's a really small percentage of women who go into a come stay situation because the man said, I want to marry you, come stay with
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so
No, but the thing is, even whether the rules are clear cut or not, it's it doesn't really matter because it's a relationship, right?
mhm,
And now it becomes a problem where it depends on whose house you're in, and then the person starts saying my stuff,
mhm.
my this, my chair, my room, my bed. Like
On
that's
that
where the
point,
problem is. And
Ruth, do you know that? Because I always believe that, if you stay, I used to assume that if you spend too many years together in a come stay situation, the law kind of regards it as a marriage. So when I was just reading up on this, I realized that, like, for example, in the UK, I don't know about the US, I don't know about Cameroon, but no, if you came into a come stay situation, you leave with what you came with, unless
mhm,
you you can prove that when you came to live with him, say he had just bought a house, he had put something down in writing that
mhm,
um if we separate, if this doesn't end up in a marriage. I mean, I would give you some part. I was so surprised to read that because I always thought that. But Ngum gave a really good comment. Ngum Gafo, I'm trying to get that comment. She was saying that, I beg, have your terms and conditions before you do come with stay. Because if you like marriage, you better clarify. That's true. That's I think that's
yeah.
exactly what I was saying. Because if you are going into come with stay situation, come with stay situation that, what, maybe if I live with him and I show him how good of a wife I can be, how well I can cook, how I can take care of laundry, like you said in Woman, how I can listen to his stupid story
Oh,
and how
Lord have
well I
mercy,
can
shoot myself
apply
right
it in
now.
the other room. Maybe, just maybe, he will see that he has a good thing. Huh?
And there's
Men,
that
like the men
desperation
in this
thing that
world,
I
what to do.
actually hate.
Yeah.
I swear, because this is the thing, yeah. My
Mhm.
sister said something one day. My sister who's late now. She said, she was dating this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she used to tell me that, oh, she showed up to his house and she's like, dude, I'm hungry. Have you cooked? And the guy's like, wait, you that you want to be a wife, you're not coming to cook for me, you're not doing my laundry and everything. My sister is like, do I look like a wife right now? Will I be
I'm
doing,
telling you.
am I a wife right now? So why will I be doing your laundry? And even still, and I had this conversation with my mom at one time. And I remember I used to hate pounding at you, by the way.
You used to
I
hate
still
what?
pounding at you. And
Oh,
I still hate pounding at you, it's
that's
too
the
hard.
only Cameroonian
But
meal I don't eat. At you.
I do that. So
Mm-mm.
I used to do it for my dad. Like I just pound for one person because my dad used to eat it on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
But and my mom would look at me. She's like, "You hate pounding this thing. You marry a man who eats pounded yam for breakfast." I'm like, "Do I eat pounded yam for breakfast? Do I look like I will make pounded yam for people for breakfast?"
Has she
Like,
seen
listen,
you there?
no, that's the thing. I used to tell my mom that this is the thing because you need to let them understand who you are. Because
Mm-hmm.
people feel like there was this old man who was saying one time that say when you get married, a woman's DNA changes. I swear to God, I heard that thing somewhere.
That well, when you
And
get
I was
married, a woman's DNA changes.
yeah, that when she gets married, her DNA changes into the submissive wife. I'm
Huh?
like, that's
I've never
there
heard
needs
that.
to be- I heard one old man was saying it one time. I laughed so hard. So I'm like, is that mentality that some men have and think that you're gonna change forever and become this thing that you were not?
Mm-hmm.
And that's I say you need to always have this open line of communication where they understand who you are and who you're
Mm-hmm.
about. Because if I choose to make you pound the yam in the middle of the night, that's because I felt like I wanted to treat you on something that you have not had and you've been amazing. And I'm like, let me go out of my way to do something amazing for you. But don't
Mm-hmm.
see the one time I do it at that time, don't think I'm going to be doing you pound the yam every day. Like,
Ha,
no.
sister, the whole purpose of Can will stay again. The whole purpose. No, let me
Mm-hmm.
not generalize because that's not fair. But I think I really do agree that a lot of women do camel stay because they hope that it's marriage. I was trying to put Tess's comment. She says that I will say people do it for convenience, but that can go two ways really. The man may take it for granted and not get pushed to finalize the relationship, and on the other hand, it can make both parties see the value of staying together, and therefore precipitate the tying of the knot. Which one of like in the case of Mbole in the film Woman, and by the way, for people who are watching, if you are in Cameroon, Woman is showing in under 30 minutes. I think we seem to have lost Ruth for now. Woman is showing in under 30 minutes on STV Cameroon. So please tune into STV Cameroon at 9 p.m. and please spread the word. And if you're just joining us, thank you. I mean, we did say we're going to make this really short, 30 minutes, but the conversation just keeps going. It just keeps going. I'm laughing because someone said, Goretti, you are a snob. How can you not like a child? You don't feel like a child. I don't know. It leaves a really, I don't like the aftertaste at all. It makes me want to throw up every time. I'm going to put Ruth is back, but before I bring Ruth back, I'm going to read Stephanie's comments, which says, can Camu stay also be considered as partnership? Because this marriage thing is not for everybody. So do we consider two people who have decided to live together but not get married on defined terms, not necessarily needing a paper to bind them? Stephanie,
Mm.
this brings me to the cultural aspect of this kind of thing. I mean, if you're raised right, in quotes, by an African mom, if you are doing Camu stay, I mean, or maybe from the neck of the woods where I come from and how the people that are in my circle are raised, Camu stay is an embarrassment to the family. Like, it's a big embarrassment. My family and friends, they don't even want to hear it. And I know a couple of family and friends who did Camu stay before getting married to their spouses out here, and their families did not have a clue. Like that, it was like some James Bond mission. No one could tell. So I don't know,
I
but
just I
again,
just feel like listen, people like this is the thing when people don't understand. I keep saying it, even when I was a little child, I kept saying it. When I saw my aunties get into problems trying to get married because their older sister didn't want it or their mom, I'm like, listen, you're not the one in that relationship. Leave these people to live their lives. If it's come will stay, they want let them do it. You come will stay.
hmm,
Because who you fall in love with, your family may
look,
not understand it, just you understand.
So you do
I
come
don't.
and say, why don't you just marry why doesn't the person just
That's
marry?
the thing, because if you don't want, because this is the thing. Okay, let me tell you. There's some. The truth is, there's some little commitments in life that will scare the shit out of me.
Mm,
So if I'm not there mentally, right, and I feel like if you feel like your bonding is better, or you're doing it and everything is cool, and you're staying with a person and it's cool,
mm-hmm,
if you change it at that point, I feel like sometimes changing it is more of, okay, like when we say about the legal aspect, the protection aspect, where if a kid comes into play, or if you're not working, or if this person deliberately said don't work,
mm-hmm,
then you have that thing where you need to sign something that says I get something if you're trying to leave my ass in the street.
mm-hmm,
Or you have a kid now and they know that, okay, and we need to make this thing official so that the kids are covered under the insurance, social security, and all that good stuff. Like, there's some things
mm-hmm.
that you have to think. But when it comes to family making decisions for who you're marrying, I don't know. Leave people alone. The only thing that I will go against is if this person is disrespectful to your family, then
Mm-hmm.
that's when I have an issue. But if not, just let them be. Let them go run into a ravine, whatever they want to do together. That's what they're doing.
I like this comment from Nelly. Nelly says, if he cheats during Kamuste, he will cheat in marriage. What do you think?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. If
Because,
he cheats, well, even without the conversation, if you guys are just dating and he cheats,
mhm.
trust me, it's still gonna be. Why don't you guys just have an understanding of open marriage?
So with all of this, what are we saying? Are we saying, I mean, for all those who are watching, are we saying, I mean, what are we saying about can we stay? Okay, imagine this scenario that you are a mother
Mm-hmm.
to a little girl. What are you going to
Yeah.
tell your daughter about can we stay?
The thing about it's not that's the thing with me and my daughter is more of understanding where we're walking into, what path we're trying to take, and
Mm,
who we're trying to take it with. Because yeah, I'll give the pros and the cons, and especially if the marriage commitment part of it, like we need to know why we're getting it. There's that security part of it which goes.
mm,
There's a Christian part of it that goes. But trust me, the pastors and everybody will be in your beds, that
mm-hmm,
people's beds. So it's not about who you are and whatever, but there's always the cheating aspect that
mm-hmm,
happens. So yeah, if you're in that, if I'll tell her, like, if you want to get married, okay, but the thing is that there's always has to be an open line of communication. She needs to be able
mm-hmm.
to trust you, to tell her tell you her fears, to tell you what
Yeah,
she
but then
believes
if
in.
you have just that
She's
window
a
to
love.
to advise her about can we stay, would you say, okay, baby girl, what would you say?
You can go for it, you can not, but that's the it always has to have a context to it.
Mm,
So I can't tell you if she's scared of marriage. Say I had a divorce and I was traumatized, right? And it
yeah.
traumatized her, and I'm not gonna force her to get married. It's gonna be like if she's in love with this person, they staying together, or whatever. Like, imagine, like, say, like college, where they always like in close proximity, right? And then after
Mhm.
university, and they like just stay together. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm
Okay.
not gonna force you like, oh, get married or something, but he needs to show some kind of commitment to you
So
before that happens.
Stephanie says, Stephanie asks, does marriage define a successful relationship? Because this marriage thing has cost a lot of people their happiness. To be honest, we need to allow people to do what is convenient for them. Stephanie, Ruth, I'm going to let you answer that. But my point of view, Stephanie, is culture. As much as we want to walk away from culture, we are just going to have to be really patient. On the pace, or on how long it's going to take us to abandon our old ways or our mothers'
Yeah.
ways. Yes, the world is evolving. Yes, the world is changing. Yes, and Kamuste is almost normalized. Not there yet.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, we're not going to force our parents to accept. We can't force that thing down our parents' throats. And
Yeah.
nothing guarantees a successful marriage. Like, nothing. Do you understand? Nothing.
Mhm.
Marriage does not define a successful relationship. Um, Nothing guarantees that getting married or doing kamusti will give you a successful relationship. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. So I don't think that we should be so quick to say that the stress of getting married is putting a lot of pressure on some women, because yes, it is just normal. I mean, for centuries, the African woman has to be married. Even if she's the 50th wife, she has to be married. You don't change
Right.
that overnight, you understand? But anyway, we're yet to have a
Right.
conversation. So Ruth, what's your take?
It doesn't, like, marriage doesn't determine a successful relationship, because, okay, let me put it this way. I'll use my parents as an example, right? They had
Mm-hmm.
their turmoils, they had their ups and downs, but
Mm-hmm.
you knew that these were two people in love. They had families against them, like, because their age difference, first of all, was much. So
Mm-hmm.
they're 14 years
Oh
apart.
yeah,
And
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
my dad's family was like, hell no. My mom's family was like, what? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it started with just two of them. And the way they stayed together and stuck together, then the families now came on board. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it takes you to take charge of whatever you're going through and whatever path you're taking. It takes you, and it's if you have faith in what you're doing, people will
Mm-hmm.
come on board. But you don't really need those people to come on board, do you? Because I keep saying it, this is your life. And
Mm-hmm.
as long as it doesn't spill onto the other people, it's not theirs. Like if it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
come in with the disrespect, if it doesn't come with the little inputs and stuff, then no. Just I
See,
feel like just keep going. I know that I know that we cannot completely disregard the kind of home training we got, the kind
yeah.
of
Mm-hmm.
cultural aspects we've seen where a woman is taken and given to the man. Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
We can't completely disregard that, but the thing is that we're also exposed in the way that you see yourself in a different light. You've gotten to understand yourself in a different light. Where if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you,
Mm. So
and
see,
that's it. Point blank. Period.
no, see, I hear you, but I hear a very, very individual scenarios. But then again, it takes individuals to make a society, isn't it? So hopefully there's
Yeah.
hope for us. That's what. So is the hope that Camel Stay is going to be normalized? Or I mean, ladies, because I have quite a few sisters in watching us. Please share with us, what would you tell your daughter? What would you tell your daughter about cohabiting, about doing camel stage? Your daughter comes and tell you, I met my boyfriend, I really love him, I don't care what you say, mommy, I love him. What will you tell that little girl?
I will beat your ass because you don't approach that situation like that. Like this is the thing. Because if it was I met my boyfriend and like I swear I will beat that situation out of your system because you don't just do it. Who is the boyfriend? How have I met him? Where do you meet him? What does he do? Does he love you? Those are things. The fact that a guy will kiss you on your neck and he will tingle you, you a little bit, but
So I
it's
like this comment from Chantal, which says the values that defines a person will help them make a decision when faced with this situation. So I think, so are you saying by that, Chantal, that we shouldn't frown on can we stay? We should deal with it as it happens. Like, so so we shouldn't come with a set mindset saying that I don't want to hear can we stay from my daughter. If my daughter comes to me tomorrow saying can we stay, it is no because I don't want to embarrass her. Or are you saying that you'll be open to say, all right, babe, go and stay with him and be his wife for free until he makes up his mind? I mean, what are you saying, Chantal? Please explain it more. And Quinta says that camel stay is most convenient for those who don't see themselves in a long-term relationship and hence don't want the headaches and responsibilities that come with the pact that's marriage. Ruth is back. So hold on. So Ruth is back. Yeah, hi Ruth.
hey.
So oh sorry, I changed the setting. So
Actually, I
Quinta,
like that setting.
Quinta, so
So
yeah, I mean,
I feel
I
like
kind of agree with
the
you.
problem is when we kind of put an embargo to
Mhm,
something that pushes you to go do that thing. So if you put like a stop to don't do it without even thinking or without even opening up to, because like rebelliousness is kind of like our inbuilt trait as women.
mhm,
So once you start, when you put your foot down about something and like without explanation, without consideration of whatever the person is thinking,
mhm.
that kind of like sets them off on like the directly opposite path, and they're gonna do exactly what you said you shouldn't do. Like I said, however your child is, imagine it was you talking to you. Will you receive it the way you're trying to say it or not?
Uh,
You get what?
Adeline says, I would encourage my daughter to get in a relationship that would lead to marriage. That should be the goal. So Adeline, you're basically saying, as if the camel stay is leading to marriage, you're happy with that. Um,
Oh my god.
Cynthia says, experience is the best teacher in life. You cannot really tell your adult child what to do. So you can only advise them and let them make their own decisions. However, you have to also have instilled some values on them to know and do better. Exactly. I think I'm also hoping that that those values that, or no. So let me rephrase that. Cynthia, I believe in those values because a lot of us were raised in those values. The question I'm asking is, are we raising our daughters and our sons? Because I keep saying daughters, but this involves two people. Are we raising our sons and daughters to consider Kamuste or not? I'd like to read some responses, please. Cynthia Ngum says there is a lot in your culture that allows for your personal growth and happiness. Research it for yourself and challenge the foolishness. Oh my God, I'm going to keep that off for a minute. Who else agrees with what Ngum has just said? There's a lot in your culture that allows for your personal growth and happiness. Research it for yourself and challenge the foolishness. I don't know if it's foolishness, Ngum. I don't know. I mean, I wish I could have you expand on that, but I don't know if raising our children with some strict moral values should be considered foolishness, or maybe I just don't understand what you mean by that foolishness. We have lost Ruth, but hopefully she'll be able to rejoin us. So I'm just going to keep on reading our comments. Somebody, Adama says, marriage is a commitment, communion, and a covenant from God. None said it was going to be easy or hard. Cheating or not, it's all in circumstances. I've experienced so many marriages end up because of cheating and while survive. Think of that well. Marriage should not be trivialized. There is no guarantee except God being it. Now, saying it does not hurt is a lie. Cheating is quoted in so much. Like a partner chooses another lady to air or out his mind instead of their partner, disrespectfully minimizing your partner. That was a lot. Thank you so much, Adama. That is great contribution. So Adama is saying that we should not take this marriage thing like a joke. Like, see, if you want to marry somebody's child, marry somebody's child. I think this message is going to the men who are watching. If you want to marry somebody's child, you must not taste the goods before you marry the child. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, see the child from a distance, do the right things and then enjoy the goods, because you enjoy the goods for the rest of your life. I'm sure so many married people in here can testify to that. So you must not taste the goods before. For financial reasons, look, hey, Masa, Nabush, bills are high, things are tough. You understand? If you think that, okay, you know what, hey, boo, can you help me out for a few months while I try and sort myself out financially? Why not? I mean, go do with the boo, and then maybe in that time, I mean, but I think I agree with Ngum here and with what some experts say, is that have clear-cut commitments, like have clear-cut rules saying that, babe, hey, see, and this thing has 6 months, you know, until I get back on my feet. Or if, okay, maybe getting back on my feet may take a year. I mean, we plan 6 months, but then there should be a limit to it, and then move on. If in that time frame this boy has not said, you know what, I like what I see, let's take it one step further. And so that's what I think. So I'm playing devil's advocate. If you haven't got it by now, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and just defend every decision you take. And for those who, you know, who don't want to get married, because Masa, the matter not easy, I can't lie. So for those who don't want to get married and who think that, hey, you know what, marriage is not for me, my dear, do what you got to do. If you think that I don't want to sign a paper because once I sign that paper, it just becomes just like something so big, don't sign the paper. Do what you got to do. But if your parents are still alive, think about how you're breaking their hearts or not. Just consider them, because as long as you're African, that thing is not going to be easy. So I don't know if we've lost Ruth for good, but if we have, I'm just going to read the last few comments, and then I think I'm going to try and check if she's refreshing the browser, she said. So I'm just going to keep reading our comments. Betty says they should be taught that marriage is not a status symbol. I agree until I don't. No, but no, I agree. I mean, we are all understanding as we grow, as we get more exposed. That honestly, I mean, marriage truly is not a status symbol. That thing of I'm Mrs. H. You don't, you know what I mean? Gone are those days, honey. Gone. It is no longer a status symbol because you are your own individual out here. You come with your own worth and you're judged on your merit and your worth. So attaching yourself to a man and thinking that will gain your respect, not in the society we find ourselves in. Rachel says our daughters' happiness matter, and people want different things at different stages in their lives. Some people may want to be together but can't afford it. So cohabiting is okay so long as you both respect each other, know what you want from the relationship. Yeah. Again, Rachel, you and I are kind of playing devil's advocate here. So Ruth is back, so that we can just round up. Oh, Ruth, hi.
Oh my God, I had issues. I had to change my
It's
device.
okay. I mean, I did an interview recently, and you would have thought that I was doing the interview from Fontaine. You would not have believed it was London. The network was so bad. It was really bad. Anyway, that was Stephanie. My dear, who is this? She said, my dear, I prefer to taste the goods. So, because if the goods are not good after I marry, I will quit. That's my point. Divorce is so hurting. So, I prefer to taste the goods. See, different opinions. I mean, see, I love conversations like this because there is no fast and set rule. Again, I think it's each to their own, really. So, but I think the most important things that we need to remember from this is let us raise these children with the right moral values, so that when they are faced in the world, they can make the decisions that will not bring you disgrace. Because as a parent or embarrassment or whatever, as a parent, whether you like it or not, you're in a community, you're in a society. And at some point, we begin to look at what's my friend's daughter doing. I beg my daughter better not do that. So let's just raise them so that we are not embarrassed. Ruth, you're welcome back.
Thank you.
I was reading.
I'll just let me get back to Kim K about taste the goods. Listen, to each his own. And listen, you're talking about you don't like the goods. What if it's not your goods that you like? We can't be that judgy. Like open minded. Like especially first of all, sex shouldn't be your goal or your everything. Skill. No, listen. Skill can be learned. No, no, no,
What
no,
are you saying?
no,
This
no,
is
no, no, no.
marriage for life.
Listen. That's what I'm saying. Skill can be learned. Skill can be learned. That's what communication. I keep saying communication because
Mhm.
if you don't like something, tell your partner you don't like that thing. How do
No,
you
no,
like?
no, no. When we're talking about the goods here, we're talking about the goods in their natural state.
Yeah,
So
but
everything in life can be learned. So some people want to taste. So I think people are getting it wrong. So we're not talking about no sex before marriage because we're
mhm.
assuming that at this point you're doing the do. It's just come and stay. You don't need to practice before becoming the actual thing. So we're not saying that we're not doing the do by now. Because that doing the do, nobody should fool you. It's very important.
It is. Like I said, you don't. It's not like cabin biscuit in the market that you like. If the quality of that cabin biscuit is shit, that means that from the factory is shit. There's nothing that can be done about it. No. If it's not working for you and you care about this person, talk to the person. What do you like? Do you even know what you like as a woman? If you don't know what you like, how are you supposed to know what you like? So have those conversations. Be bold enough to say it. I know that initially you'd be worried about your man's ego. I want to say that from the perspective of a woman, might be worried about his ego on, oh, if you tell him that he's not doing something right, he may feel bad. Let him feel bad, then change it, and then both of you feel good afterwards.
Okay.
Delivery is always important.
So on that note, on that note, we're going to round up because see, one of my very good friends told me that time flies when the conversation is exciting, and I believe her so much. So the goal was a 20 to 30 minute conversation because who can talk for more than 30 minutes?
I
But this
know.
was at almost an hour and it's still going. I'm not going to take the rest of your evening. This was the first ever episode of the Woman Experience, and I'm so glad so many women tune in, and we had so many conversations. So as we round our route, it's important that I read share people's comments. Just give me a few minutes so that they know that they were heard, because again, it's a conversation. It's important to help the person think through their decision. Sometimes we do not know any better. Both our sons and daughters need to look forward to marriage or a single life filled with purpose and based on faith and moral values.
Oh, well.
Okay, can know that that's a good mommy. This says, Salo says, I don't understand this issue of not tasting before marriage. Who cooks soup and serves it without tasting Maggi and salt? I'd rather give the kids the tools to protect themselves and make informed choices. I agree 100% with that. I'd rather my children have the tools needed to make those choices when the time comes, and yeah, not necessarily be too much a part of their decision-making process, because I'm hoping that I raise them in such a way that they would, they'll be able to make the right choices. Quinta says, to be honest, common state should be treated as common law partners. In common state, there's always one person in that partnership who doesn't really stand for it, but due to circumstances. Now, African way, then why you do them in the first place?
Because they're trying to be pleasing, like people pleasers. There's always that fear of I'm not gonna stay. He's not gonna want me, or she's not gonna want me if I push my agenda too much. So it's more like let me take what I can have, glass half full kind of situation.
And actually, in some countries, common states after a certain number of years is considered common law marriage. I used to think in the UK, but I was very surprised on what I read. So if anyone can Ngum, Betty, if anybody knows better on that, if you can share with us what so as a parent, and I've read that, GORETTI, only impressed, don't mind these ladies. Cynthia says, can we stay in the African sphere? It's not a good idea because it is not legally binding. And we know the family issues that arise if the man is to pass away. In the UK, you have civil partnership, which is essentially can we stay, but with legal recognition as a marriage. So it depends where your children are based. And not, Cynthia, not exactly, because it depends. So it's only when children are involved that you begin to think, if anybody came into the Camus state situation or common law thing, you end up living with what you came with, unless children are involved, unless you can prove that you had an agreement that you were going to share your assets also. So I mean, I need to. Okay, I think Betty was responding to somebody else. Percy says, the world is evolving, and personally, if my daughter wants to do can we stay with a known and verified partner, I will take pride in her happiness and give them the go-ahead, provided they're able to take care of their basic needs. Don't rush them and let love lead. It might end up in marriage, but to me, her happiness is paramount. I think all I'm getting from all this, the conversations, is that most modern parents won't frown on can we stay.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Happiness.
It's more like you're gonna let it happen, but you need to have like the little information about how the process is going. Who are you going to be with? What is the person's income like? What is your income like? Can you survive on just two?
That's true. So my goodness, thank you. Gilbert says, "I know if you marry woman, we are never test." This palaver taste. We should have a conversation on tasting before.
Wait, question. If you taste and you like, and she doesn't like you, what do you do?
Also, I mean, there are certain things that I need to make clear with stay. People get into come stay situations. Oftentimes, or the most prominent one is surprisingly love. They believe that they love each other, they can't stay away from each other, and they want to be with each other. A lot of them are not even thinking that they want to marry each other. They're just thinking, I love him, I want to be with him, I want to live with him, I'm so in love. You know that Diddy.
And it's so weird that's what's considered the next step.
It's very few. That's like 60% of a poll that I read on. Very few said it was due to financial reasons, and an even smaller numbers said that they get into Camus stay because they don't believe in marriage, so they just want to do this because it's convenient for them.
Yeah.
But I say, because again, I'm going to play a devil's advocate as we continue this conversation off the off social
Social media.
platform, that we should. Uh, what I've gotten from the majority of us is that we are open to come stay when it comes to our children, as long as we think that their happiness is important. And a few of us are saying that, look, marriage is not the be all and end all of it. So some people don't really believe in marriage, so they'll do come stay. I mean, all of that. I think the conclusion
I
is, if it
say,
works for you, you got to do what you got to do.
exactly, and you should never be. It's not a bad idea, and it's not the every idea, but it shouldn't be the only option you have. Like you don't go into it because how man could do. You can't do
Mm,
that. You can't do that.
mm,
You need to put more value in yourself. You need to know
mhm,
why you're getting into. Does it help you as well? Is that
mhm,
it does it make your life better? Does it make your situation better? And does it contribute to your overall happiness?
mhm.
Because sometimes you'll be stuck in a relationship, you'll be stuck in a place just because you feel like that's the only thing that can happen to you. Which
Yeah.
mm,
You don't want to, sisters, if you find yourself in that situation,
come
you're
out.
in
Oh,
bush. You day bush. This is why my country. I know that papers may be an issue. I know that there's so many circumstances surrounding people's personal situations, but always remember that you are in bush. Don't let them fool you that the little community you're in, that no, it is a big old world, and you can literally change your life in Europe, like literally in the West, Europe, America, you can change your life. So
yeah,
don't get stuck in a camel stay situation because you have no options. There are always
yeah,
options. There are
options.
always
Always.
options. That should
Exactly.
never be a last resort. And thank you so much. If you're in Cameroon, please, or if your family members is in Cameroon, quickly send a text message. Woman has started on STV Cameroon at 9 p.m. So tell your family members to tune in. And Ruth, before we go, because we got to go,
Yes.
Mbole. So just tell the people how it felt playing that role and where you drew your inspiration from and what they can see you in a few years or now.
Now, Bole, first of all, since I've never done Camel Stay, so it was more of her background and the kind of person she was that I tried to tune into. And I never a character like that. I wouldn't go research and look at who is staying with doing what in Camel State because their situations are different. So with Bole's character, I kind of like um, looked at it in terms of who is she around, what does she do, what does she like, what does she not like, and so with that, it was quite easy to play, especially when you're playing opposite a good actor. It's
Oh
easy to
my
just
God.
express
She
yourself.
played
Jeffrey,
opposite the incomparable Jeffrey Epule.
uh,
I mean, hands down to me.
it's so it's so
I'm
it's so
biased, but
effortless
hands
working
down the
with
best.
Jeff.
Yes.
It's so effortless. I loved it, and he has this. He always has these expressions that he does where you don't expect it, so your reactions are organic. So it was always a blast working with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He really is. And Woman is available on YouTube for those who haven't had a chance to watch Woman. Woman is available on YouTube. So please, I'll put the link in the comments shortly. And Ruth, so tell people what you have coming up, please. Oh,
Right now we have two wrongs that's coming on Iroko TV where I have I don't know who has Star Times. Yeah, on Star Times I have Hook, Line and Sinker that's going on. We have reruns of Ajoche, which everybody is still a fan favorite, and so he's been running for the past 2 years. I love it. Um,
Ajoke.
yeah, Ajoche,
Yeah,
yes,
so that's Ajoke.
yeah.
For so it's what it's on DSTV so
It's
it's just
on
based in Cameroon
DSTV,
in
and
Africa who
I
can
think
watch
it should be
it.
on Family Now, on DSTV Family, African Magic Family Now. We have
Hmm.
Hookline and Tinker, which is yeah, it's Hookline and Tinker is on Star Times and African Movie Channel.
Hmm.
We have yeah,
Assistant Madam. We have Assistant
Assistant
Madam.
Madams, yes, on YouTube. Assistant Madams on YouTube.
Yeah, Assistant
Uh,
Madam is showing on Red TV on YouTube.
on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another good one. So we have a bunch. There's some I can't say the title right now, but it's gonna come in. It should be coming out in the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So oh, that's Hook, Line, and Sinker. That's behind the scenes where director is trying to grill us to work.
Who's the fair lady laying on the bed?
Shirley Igwe.
Okay.
She's Nigerian actress, Igbo. Yeah.
Okay. And is it
I
still
love. I
the
just
thinker?
it's always amazing working. I love coming Nigeria because it's a different thing. And now we have this shoot that I have to do. Ugh, Corona help my
You
life.
must
I
be
need to go
missing
work.
set.
Yeah,
You must be missing being on set, aren't
I
you?
know I missed it. So hopefully, the governors here are saying they're opening the state. I think this month and next month. I'll be
She'll be
depending on
back.
the state. So hopefully next month I can go work. I have a couple of shoots coming up. So yeah,
Ruth, it's been such a delight, such a delight. I think for everyone else in the comments,
oh,
sorry, not in the comments, for everyone else who's watching, it's been such a delight having this conversation with you. And I just want to thank every single person. We got up to 55 at one point, so that's really exciting for me because I thought we'll get like 2 people watch. So much for tuning in, and we'll continue on Friday at 8 p.m. So we're going to be doing the Woman Experience Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. From the GORETTI Experience page. I will do my very best to share it with you. Yeah, our next guest on Friday is going to be Gobina Charlotte, who played the role of the mistress. I think we have a lot of questions to ask her, and a lot around that conversation of mistresses. So if you are a mistress, have been a mistress, or plan to be
ask
a
her the
mistress,
question. Ask her the question like she was so convincing. Ask her if she has done that before.
no, she hadn't. Join us on Friday at 8 p.m. I really appreciate you for tuning in. And from myself, Goretti, and Miss Ruth Petty, thank you. Thank
Thank
you so much.
you.
So much.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye, everyone.